Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindascha Ganai Saha Vande Prasadatoyesham Sarvaramba Shubhankaraha. So we're continuing with Shri Shri Prapanna-jivanamrtam. We have begun chapter 9, Shri Bhagavad Vachanamritam, words of nectar which have come from the Supreme Lord Himself. So the previous chapters were expressions from the hearts of the devotees, and this is like, in a sense, the Lord's response, to his devotees. And kind of starting more general, and then as it progresses, expressing more and more his love and affection for his devotees. Okay, so we have come to verse number 15 of the 9th chapter, and this is I think it's the first 30 or something, 31, 33 verses. They're all from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, up to 31, they're all from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we're at verse number 15, and this is a famous verse of Bhagavad Gita. Upanishad Purushasya Shri Krishnasyaiva Yogi-janamrigyam Nikhila-chida-chin Niyantritvam, encompassing the aggregate individuality and collectivity, the absolute autocracy over both the material and the spiritual planes is held by Shri Krishna alone, the supreme male-dominating principle, as corroborated in the Upanishads, and he is the objective sought after by the yogis. And this is the verse: Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto matas matir jnanam apohanancha vedaischa sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. I am situated, so this is spoken by Lord Krishna, and this is in Bhagavad Gita. I am situated as the Supreme Lord within the hearts of all souls. As a result of a soul's worldly deeds, his remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness arise from me alone. Thus I am not only Brahman, the absolute spirit that pervades the universe, but above that I am the Supersoul present in the hearts, and Supersoul refers to Paramatma, present within the hearts of the living beings, who dispenses the results of their attempts. And even above my worshipable aspects of Brahman and Paramatma, I am the Guru of all souls, the eternal dispenser of their good fortune. I am Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be known by all the Vedas. I am the creator and perfect knower of all the axiomatic conclusions of the Vedas, Vedanta. So these three aspects of the Absolute, which we were discussing a little yesterday: Brahma, the impersonal, all-pervading; Paramatma, who is residing within the heart of every individual being, and as a witness, overseeing and dispensing the reactions to their actions. And then, in the most original position, Bhagavan, that personal entity of the Lord. And this line, last two lines I like very much. Vedaischa sarver aham eva vedyo vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. That this vast body of Vedic knowledge, I am the source of that. Let's see, how is it here? I know the meaning of the Vedas. I am the source of the Vedas, and I am to be known through the Vedas. I am to be searched after through the Vedas. Mm-hmm. So although, so much is presented there, this is the distilled essence. This is the real point. Now, this is where it's all leading you to, this conception of Shri Krishna, the sweet absolute. if for one who has the eye to see that. Tad Vishnu paramam param eva gantavyam tatcha yaninam anariti karakam yoginam adi chaitanya swarupam karminancha karma fal vidayakam. The desired goal is the supreme divine lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, who is the ordainer of ultimate emancipation for the liberationists, jnanis, the supreme lord of the meditationists, yogis, and the rewarder of the elevationists, karmis. Tatapadam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gatana nivartanti bhuya tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatha pariti pashuta prashuta purani. Thus one should search out that supreme goal of no return, the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. I surrender unto him, the original person from whom the perpetual material world has extended. Thus one should search out that supreme goal of no return, the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. I surrender unto him, the original person from whom the perpetual material world has extended. Avidya nirmukta sampurna gya eva lila purushottamam Shri Krishnam eva nikila bhaver bhajante. Those liberated from ignorance and endowed with full-fledged knowledge render service in all devotional mellows, headed by consorthood, Madhura Ras, unto Shri Krishna, the supreme hero of divine pastimes. Those liberated from ignorance and endowed with full-fledged knowledge render service in all devotional mellows, headed by consorthood, unto Shri Krishna, the supreme hero of divine pastimes, Lila Purushottam. Yomam evam masamudo janati purushottamam sasarva vidbhajatimam sarva bhavina bharata. O Bharat, this is Krishna speaking to Arjuna, one who is liberated from illusion and thus knows me alone as the Supreme Personality, such a full-fledged savant serves me in all respects. Karma jnana dhyana yoginam api tat tadbhavam tyaktva ye mat chit shakti gata shaddam ashritya bhajante ta eva sarva shashtaha. Of all yogis who follow the paths based on action, knowledge, and meditation, karma, jnana, dhyan, the topmost are those who abandon their respective attitudes to take refuge in their heart's faith in my personal potency, Sarup Shakti, and thus engage in my pure devotional service. Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shadavan bhajate yomam sameyukta tamomata. In my opinion, of all types of yogis, the most elevated of all is one who surrenders their heart to me and serves me in devotion with sincere internal faith. This is a very, very nice verse of Bhagavad Gita. In my opinion, of all types of yogis, the most elevated, and as I recall, this is this is after Krishna has been describing different practices of Ashtanga yoga, and then in the conclusion he's saying this, but actually, of all types of yogis that there may be, one who approaches me with their heart, with their love, with their faith, that is the topmost type of yogi. In my opinion, of all types of yogis, the most elevated of all is one who surrenders their heart to me and serves me in devotion with sincere internal faith. Niravachina prema bhakti ajino mat parshada eva paramashashtaha. My associates who serve me in uninterrupted loving devotion are the most superior. Maya Vesha Mano Yemam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shaddaya Parayopetas Te Me Yukta Tama Mataha. Dedicating their whole life to devotional service with unalloyed faith, one who absorbs their heart in me, is definitely the highest of all devotees. Dedicating their whole life to devotional service with unalloyed faith, one who absorbs their heart in me, is definitely the highest of all devotees. Shri Krishna Swayam Rupatvam Sarvam Shitvam Sarvashayatvam Chidvilasamayatvam Cha. The original form of Godhead, Shri Krishna, is the origin of all incarnations, the ultimate refuge, and the enjoyer of dynamic divinity. The original form of Godhead, Shri Krishna, is the origin of all incarnations, the ultimate refuge, and the enjoyer of dynamic divinity. Mata parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mayi sarvam idam protam sutre mani gana iva. O Dhananjaya, says Krishna to Arjuna, there is none superior to me. Everything that be is linked with me in my Vishnu form, like gems strung on a thread. O Dhananjaya, there is none superior to me. Everything that be is linked with me in my Vishnu form, like gems strung on a thread. Swayam Rupasya Sarupa Shakti Pravartanam Ashritya Raga Bhajanam Eva Parama Pandityam. The ultimate sagacity is in Raga Bhajan, spontaneous devotion, headed by servitude unto Shri Radhika, under the impetus of the personal potency of the Supreme Lord, of the original Lord, who is beauty's own self. The ultimate sagacity is in Raga Bhajan, spontaneous devotion, headed by servitude unto Shri Radhika, under the impetus of the personal potency of the original Lord, who is beauty's own self. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanyitaha. Know me as the source of everything that be, spiritual or material. Understanding this, the truly intelligent souls give their hearts to me. They engage in my pure devotional service. And so this verse, and then also the second one, they are of these 4 verses in Bhagavad Gita, which have been identified, pointed out as the Chatur Shloki, which literally just means 4 verses. But 4 principal verses of Bhagavad Gita. You know, the essence of Bhagavad Gita is within these 4 verses. And I mean, in a nutshell, they're describing the loving relationship. You know, and this is like the juice of Bhagavad Gita. And this is where Bhagavad Gita will lead one ultimately to that conclusion of the possibility of the prospect of a loving connection with the Lord. That, you know, so in Bhagavad Gita there's karma, gyan, bhakti, and also we can see there's development in the conception of the absolute. According to the path, there's a particular conception of the absolute, of the attainment, right? The attainment of a particular realization of the absolute. So there is a Brahma conception, the non-differentiated aspect of the absolute, and then there is the Paramatma conception. You know, through the cultivation of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, one can attain realization of Brahma, impersonal, absolute. And then through the practice of yoga, Ashtanga yoga, one can have realization of Paramatma. And so what's being described here in this verse is like once someone has come to that position of real, like in their meditation, having some glimpse of the Paramatma feature of the absolute, having some realization of a personal aspect of the absolute, then the natural feeling will be, being exposed to that wonderful being, to that beauty. Then the natural feeling, the progression of feeling will be, oh, I want a relationship with that. Not just that I want to sit in like a remote meditation upon that, but I would actually like to have a relationship. I would like to express, my feeling, my love for that wonderful being. And ultimately that will lead one to the spirit of dedication, service, as the real expression of love. So, and this, there's a very straight, concise meaning, translation, but then, I mean, this verse, it can be understood in a more simplistic way, but Srila Sridhar Maharaj has drawn out some deeper understanding here, which is that the highest approach to the Lord will be under the shelter of the highest potency, highest Shakti of the Lord, which is Srimati Radharani. So aham sarvasva prabhavo, that Krishna is saying here, I am the source of everything. Everything comes from me. Mata sarvam pravartate, and everything emanates from me. I am the source of everything, and everything comes from me. Everything emanates from me. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samamvitaha. So when the wise souls realize this, those who are Buddha, who have some intelligence, some spiritual intelligence, we can say, the wise souls who come to this realization that I am everything, that I am all in all, then they come to offer themselves, to worship me in a mood of love. Bhava samamvita, iti matva bhajante. That will be the outcome of their realization that I'm everything. That they want, the real outcome of that will be that they want to offer themselves to me. Not just that you want to stand and observe, but you want to be a part of that. It's actually like common sense. It's like if there's someone you really admire, like you can just admire them, or if there's possibility to have like a reciprocation, a relationship, like which one are you going to choose? So this is what Krishna is saying here. That's where it will lead them to, the desire to offer themselves, to have some relationship. So here we have an expanded translation here. And this is the thing, Sadhguru Maharaj uses lots of big words. So it's not always so clear. Okay, so here we go. Know me as the source of everything that be, spiritual or material. Understanding this, the truly intelligent souls give their hearts to me. They engage in my pure devotional service. So this is like the straight translation. And then we have in parentheses an expanded explanation, which is coming from Srila Sridhar Maharaj's explanation of this verse. As soon as persons with the propensity for service in love, bhava bhajan, realize the original form of Godhead, Swayam Rup, to be the fountainhead of all currents of worship and devotion, then in the mellow of divine consorthood, Madhura Ras, they will necessarily feel deep loyalty to intimately follow the impetus of full-blown service. This impetus being the Lord's personal potency, Sarup Shakti, or the female embodiment of the Acme in devotion, Mahabhav Sarup. In this way they attain to the servitude of Srimati Radharani, Shri Radha Dasya. The purport is that the potency of Sri Krishna is also the Anagattaress, of worship and devotion unto him, and to engage in pure devotional service, always in the shelter of such a conception and pure heart's devotion, constitutes servitude to the Guru for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, or Sri Radha Dasya in Madhura Ras. So the highest type of service, it is coming, through her, under her shelter, with her inspiration. She is the highest potency of the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, there's Srila Sridhar Maharaj. This I find a little confusing, but in Bhagavad Gita there's a purport to this verse that comes directly from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, which is very nice. Okay, we can go on to the next verse, and this is also, I don't remember if it's the second one or I think it's the second, I think it's the next one in these 4 principal verses of Gita. This is chapter 10. Chapter 10, verse 8, 9, 10, 11, I believe. So this is the next one in these 4 verses. Mad arpita prana mad ashrita parasparam sahayena madalapana prasada ramanadi sukam nityam eva labante. My male or female servitors, who have dedicated their entire lives to me and taken full shelter in me, mutually assist one another in a manner befitting their respective internal devotional aptitudes. They eternally relish conversing about me, the satisfaction of serving me, and the nectar of devotion culminating in my divine consorthood. But this is very nice because it's describing the relationship amongst the devotees of Krishna. They also have a very beautiful, loving relationship, and they relish, talking about Krishna in their exchanges. And they get a deep satisfaction out of that. Yeah, again, this is a little confusing. My male or female servitors who have dedicated their entire lives to me and taken full shelter in me mutually assist one another in a manner befitting their respective internal devotional aptitudes. They eternally relish conversing about me, the satisfaction of serving me, and the nectar of devotion culminating in my divine consorthood. And this is the verse. And these are the symptoms of those exclusive devotees. Now this is the verse. Mat chitta mad gata prana bodhayanta prasparam gatayantash chamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. With heart and soul dedicated unto me, they constantly exchange their devotional ecstasies while conversing about me. By such hearing and chanting, in the stage of practice, sadhana, they enjoy the happiness of devotion. And in the stage of perfection, sadhya, that is, in the achievement of divine love, prema, they relish up to the mellow of my intimate relationship in divine consorthood, in the free spontaneity of braja. Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So this beautiful reciprocation. Bodhayanta prasparam. Bhava sevaiva bhagavad rashikarane samarta. Only loving service, bhava seva, can subjugate the Supreme Lord. And this is another famous verse of Gita. Pacham pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti pahritam ashnami prayatatmana. Whatever the pure-hearted devotees lovingly offer unto me, such as a tulasi leaf, flower, fruit, and water, I accept with heartfelt affection. So this is a famous verse of Gita, often quoted, and giving us this this principle that the Lord is drawn by affection, drawn by love. Whatever simple offering may be made, that is not a factor, but He is interested in the love of the heart, in the hearts of His devotees. Krishnaika bhajana shilasya tat prabhavena viduyam ma nanya vajrani duracharava jishtanyapi durabhisandi mulakavana garhani yanyapi cha sarupatas tareka bhajanasya paramadbhuta mahatmyatsa sadar eva. By the potency of the purging effect of devotion for Krishna, glaring inauspicious traits may arise in the character of a person who is exclusively devoted to the service of the Lord. Although such faults may seem to be abominable, they are not condemnable as born of evil motivations, as in a non-devotee. On the contrary, due to the natural, marvelous, pristine glory of his exclusive devotion, Ananya Bhajam, that devotee is to be known as a true saint. And this is a very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, I think it is. Api chet sadar acharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadar eva samantavya samyagyavasito hisa. If a person serves me with heart exclusively devoted, even if his practices are abominable, he is to be revered as a true saint, sadhu, because his life's resolve is perfect in all respects. So this is a tough one. This is a controversial one.
Abominable communication.
He's trying to make a point, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. That, there has to be the distinction made between spiritual quality and material quality. So this is the test, that we face, that even if we're seeing some very bad characteristics in someone, to keep that consciousness that this, as it's being described here, this may be some purging process that's going on. And actually within their heart, they're exclusively given to the Lord. Or at the least, there's some type of transformative process that's going on. So can we overlook that's a challenge? And it's also a very dangerous conception, because it's one that the insincere can take advantage of, to their own, gain. I can do whatever I like, because I'm an Ananya Bhak, I'm an exclusive devotee. So, we won't apply this to ourselves, but we will try to keep that broad consciousness when we're looking at other practitioners. And it doesn't mean that if we see someone displaying some very glaring faults, it doesn't mean that we're going to keep them as our best friend by our side. It may be unhealthy for us to keep their close company. But as Gurudev would say, we can pay our respects from a distance. We can pay our dandavat from a distance. The main thing is that what we're holding in our heart about that person. So we may feel it's best. This person has some very bad habits, some issues that they're dealing with. So it's not healthy for me to keep close company with them. But within my heart, I'm honoring them. And I'm remembering that I don't know who they are. Gurudev so many times said that. We don't know who is a sadhu, Good sadhu doesn't mean who dresses very nicely and who can perform all the practices very nicely, who can speak very nicely. A real sadhu is something much deeper than that. So it's a caution in one way. It's a caution for us and how we will perceive practitioners on the path. Because these someone may have some terrible faults within the sagun plane, the plane of the material modes of nature, but they may have a deep affinity for the nirgun plane, for the transcendental plane beyond the modes of nature. And on the other hand, somebody may be very qualified within the saguna plane, but they don't have anything substantial in terms of connection with the nirgun plane, the transcendental plane. So it is a very, very tricky thing. So we have to, play it safe. And we saw that with Srila Gurudev. Like, that was what was so wonderful and revolutionary about Gurudev, was he just cut straight to the heart of things. And we saw persons who were rough people and did have bad habits, but had real genuine heart for Krishna consciousness, and Gurudev appreciated that and honored those persons. Not that he was happy, about their habits and whatever, but that wasn't a disqualification for Krishna consciousness. So it is a very important point. And also, whatever's there, the Lord can remove that in an instant if He likes. The Lord, it's even mentioned, Srila Sridhar Maharaj mentions in Loving Search, that the Lord may even choose to keep some faults, to teach some particular lesson or to test people. He can even deliberately keep some particular fault in a devotee. So we really can't think we know what's going on. We have to be so careful. Okay, we'll continue. And this is the following verse, which is even more radical, if it's possible. Shodhana Prakriya in Bhagavad Gita, these two are together. Shodhana Prakriya Jata Mala Nisara Nasya Malina Vastuna Sabhave Kamala Vichoranena Sahana Kadapya Ketvam Tadrig Bhakta Kshipram Shudyati Nakadapi Nashatiti Paramashvasa Pradatvam. The supreme assurance, the purging of dirt by a process of purification, and the natural emanation of dirt from a contaminated thing can never be won. Such a devotee is swiftly purified, he is never lost. The supreme assurance, the purging of dirt by a process of purification, and the natural emanation of dirt from a contaminated thing can never be won. Such a devotee is swiftly purified, he is never lost. And this is the verse from Bhagavad Gita. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvakshantim nigachati kunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. O son of Kunti, it is my promise that a soul who adopts exclusive devotion unto me will definitely never fail. Despite the initial purging and sudden appearance of his defects, such anomalies are rapidly dispelled by his continuous remembrance of me and repentance for the impediments to his service. He becomes impeccably devout in the soul's natural constitutional behavior, and as a result of his devotion, he attains supreme relief from the bondage of both sinfulness and piety. So this is interesting. Because here, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is giving I assume that this English translation is a translation of the Bengali. Because this work, it's originally in Sanskrit. And then from Sanskrit, it was translated into Bengali. And then I assume it's from the Bengali that this has been translated. But here, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is actually giving a very, assuming this is coming from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, is giving a more safe translation of this verse. because in Bhagavad Gita, the explanation that's published is very different. Because actually what this verse is saying is Kunteya Pratijanihi, telling Arjuna, you promise to the people, you announce to the people, you declare that such a person who is appearing to be Sudurachar, a very wicked person, well, it's complicated. I'm trying to go about it right, because because Sanskrit's very broad, right? So there's two main ways that this verse can be read, and so the way that Srila Sridhar Maharaj, so there's like more of like a safe translation, and then there's more of a radical translation. So in here, Srila Sridhar Maharaj is giving the more safe translation, but in Bhagavad Gita he gives the more radical explanation. Well, he gives both. But so the safe translation is what we've just read, that O Arjuna, you declare that my devotee is never destroyed, is never vanquished. If you see any fault in them, it will very quickly become purified. Kipram bhavati dharma, they will again achieve the position of, dharma, of purity, of righteousness, like that. So this is like the more standard translation. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj also explains this in another way, because he points out that actually to say that this, because it's in the previous verse, it's already said that this person should be considered to be a sadhu, that one should not. And see, there's also different range of application. We can apply this verse to like a real struggling practitioner, but we can also apply this verse in terms of someone who's like actually a perfect devotee, and apparently they have some fault, but actually they don't. So there's different range of application. So like a higher application is that Srila Sridhar Maharaj points out, in the previous verse, it's already been said that this person is a sadhu. They've never left the path of Dharma. There's no question of that. So therefore, it's redundant in this verse to say, in the following verse, to say that they will become Dharmatma, that they will become righteous. They never left it. So there's no question of them leaving it. And so therefore, what Krishna is actually saying here is that you, Arjuna, if you can appreciate this, you will become Dharmatma. That if we can appreciate the purity in a devotee despite some apparent defect, if we can appreciate that and announce that, then we will be the ones who will be purified. We will be the ones who will become Dharmatma, if we're able to recognize that. That we, the observer, if we are able to appreciate that, we will soon also achieve that level of, realization. So this is a more, radical explanation that Srila Sridhar Maharaj gave. And that's been published in our Bhagavad Gita. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj's godbrothers, actually, they were concerned, and they expressed their concern about that to Srila Sridhar Maharaj. I don't know if this is safe. Jajavar Maharaj, he expressed that this is a little dangerous, to publish this. But he did.
Extreme example of that. So like they had one of the Dalai Lamas was really different, and he used to drink and gamble and chase other men's wives and womanize.
Oh dear.
And carry on and just do all sorts of things, and use his power to sort of get things he wanted, and all sorts. He was right, but they did nothing about it. It's just interesting because they just, right, okay, he's the Dalai Lama.
They accepted it like that.
Yeah, because they saw it in that higher, I think in that higher way. They just accepted that there could be, in all the manifestations, there could be a manifestation like this. And that in a way it was saying, well, so what about all your foibles? Here it is, it's just, so, think about that, but they didn't have a problem. They never tried to get rid of him. No one criticised him. They knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't hide it. So that was, and he went on for, he lived a life, and died, and that was that.
Do you also have wise teachings in between?
I don't know that he was into giving a lot of teachings or anything, I don't know that, but I'd say he probably, compared to this present, His Holiness at the moment, I don't think so, he wouldn't have, I doubt if he gave a lot of time for practice and things like that. I mean, I'm just speculating, but you kind of think, well, no, it doesn't quite tally up. Spending, heaps and heaps of time practicing and reading and studying and meditating, and then going out and doing all this, gambling and drinking and womanizing, and spending all the money. And so I don't think so.
That? How long before the still
a while back, not that long ago, not that long. Yeah.
I heard that.
But it's just similar kind of thing in a way.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we don't know. And anything's possible.
Well, in that higher sense, you can't. How do you approach that? You can't, because then you're saying, oh, you're a materialist, because then you're saying, oh, you judge everything by its material manifestation.
Yeah.
So you're wide open to being called a materialist in your understanding, and it could be, that it's just that, because you're not seeing it from the really high perspective, how would they see it, Yeah, but so there, yeah.
This reminds me of a saying once from the Buddhist tradition. That in the highest state, it is to be in a state of non-anxiety around imperfection. So it's like
accept life. Yeah, accept life. Just accept it in a humble way. Just it's bigger than me.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
It's not for me to be feeling all oh, the world should be like this.
So not to be anxious around the Dalai Lama's behaviour, like
cool.
how you might choose how to interact with that, but not to be anxious.
Yeah, be humble about it. Mercier Eliade, he was a great writer, on all spiritual and anthropological and historical religious matters, like giant intellect, and he said that the only sin, he thought that the only real sin in this world was to not recognise that this is just a temporal world, and that there's all the other greater, the spiritual realm, and that the spirit is all just so much greater than this, is to just see this world. That's the only real sin, and he said people have got to, they can earn their living in all different ways, making landmines, whatever you want, just they're all doing their thing. It's all Vishnu, as he said, He said, really, but the only real sin is that true materiality kind of thing. Just no, I don't believe it. This is all it is. Anyway.
From the Vaishnava perspective, the only real serious crime is to commit an offense to a Vaishnava, to have some ill feeling towards a Vaishnava. Now that is like that's like a spiritual crime. That's the only thing that, to hold envy or some ill feeling towards a Vaishnava. That's the only thing that can seriously hold us back. the other things, like, you know, sinful activity in the general sense in the world, it may like feed into the layers, material layers that are covering us, but in terms of like a serious obstacle that's going to really hold us back, you know, it's actually what you said, you know, we can agree with that. It's some sin in this world. It's in the big picture of things, it's not such a big deal. But and the Lord can, you know, remove that very quickly if He likes. You know, it's all pertaining to this temporary world. But to have like bad feeling, to have ill will towards the devotees, you know, that's something that will like actually harm the development of bhakti within our heart. So that was, you know, one reason, and maybe probably the main reason why our Gurudev emphasized so much these principles of humility, tolerance, and respect, you know, from Mahaprabhu's instructions in the Shikshashtakam, because moving, you know, in our lives with that type of mood, we're protecting ourselves from you know, offending anybody. So you know, there are these 4 regulative principles that are told for those who come to take up the practice, you know, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, and some persons, they put a lot of importance on that, but Srila Gurudev, he said those are like human principles. Those are things just to like make you human. But actual like Vaishya, and you're not going to actually progress. You know, by not doing these material things, it's not that you're going to progress spiritually. But these principles of humility, tolerance, giving honor and not respecting honor, you know,
not expecting.
Yeah, it's actually 4. Gurudev would usually condense it to 3, make the last 2 1, but technically it's 4. Trinada pisu nichena, to be humble like a blade of grass. Torora pisu hishnuna, to be tolerant like a tree. Amanina manadena, to not expect honor and to give honor to others. These are like actual Vaishnava principles, you know. These will help us to actually make progress. So then we also understand, and that was Gurudev's mood. If we can follow these Vaishnava principles, but we can't perfectly follow these, you know, human principles, then, you know, it's okay, you know. I mean, eventually we need to get over them, but it'll actually automatically happen. It'll fall away, yeah. Now, as your devotional aptitude develops, then you'll naturally give up the attachment for those lower things. So Gurudev never put, you know, emphasis on that. I mean, of course he likes that devotees would try to follow that. He called them once the ABCs, you know, and this whole idea developed that Gurudev didn't think they were important at all because he didn't talk about them that much. Like when he would give initiation, he wouldn't talk about following the 4 regulative principles. And so this whole idea developed that Gurudev didn't think it was important at all. And there's a letter published, it's in Affectionate Guidance, because some devotees wrote to him asking about that. And Gurudev said, you know, I don't talk about it because I'm assuming that if you're bringing someone to me, then you've already explained that to them. And these things are like the ABCs, you know. So, you know, it's not that he didn't think it was important at all, but it wasn't like a main point of emphasis. It's like a basic thing that we'll try to adhere to. But it's not that's, like, because some people have that idea, like, this is what spiritual life is about, you know. You follow these 4 things and you chant 16 rounds every day, you know. And then you're going back to Godhead.
such a minefield, you know, like in the world, you know, to get too caught up in, like it's saying, you know, because you can't see, you know, like, you know, they say road to hell's paved with good intentions, whatever, you know, somebody who's got kind of, you know, we should do this because this is right and everything, and this is, you know, this is the kind, you know, and okay, you carry that out, and it actually turns out could all go bad on them, you know, like a whole lot of people could get hurt and killed and suffer because of this good intention, you know, like this, you know, you don't know how it's going to go. That's the thing in the material world, you know, it's too tricky, you know. It's like, whereas somebody who is tougher, you know, and took a strong, you know, everyone go, oh, he's a hard old tyrant, you know, like, but in fact he's right, you know, what he did actually lessened people's suffering greatly, you know, sort of, you know what I mean, like it can, just the way things can turn out, you know, like the Winston Churchill in that Darkest Hour movie, he was sort of, you know, there were all these people against him, oh, we should make peace with Hitler now, you know, quickly, because, you know, otherwise everyone's going to be, you know, and he said, no, you can't make peace with this, and he stood up, and but there was a lot that said, no, don't, you know, like, and it was line bull, you know, at that time, very much so, you know, and then, yeah, you know, and he was greatly criticised for different things he'd done, which were either right or wrong, you know, but as in hindsight, we can see how his position was a correct one, you know, but there were many who didn't think he was, you know. But anyway, yeah, like that. I don't know, it's just, you got to be, as soon as you start dealing with this, it's just another, whoa, you know, there's no certainties, you know, you don't know where you are, you know. You do your best, you know, but, yeah.
What time is it now? It's just after 10. Oh, well, we can finish there, I think. Any last comments or anything, anyone? About to meditate upon? Okay. Jai Shishi Prapanna-jivanamrtam ki Jai, Shalabhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami ki Jai, Shalabhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Guru Ranga Ganhari Govinda Sundar ki Jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswati ki Jai, all the assembled devotees ki Jai, all the world devotees ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Jai Gaur Premanande.